Hi, everybody, and welcome to this Mercury Retrograde Pick a Card reading. So, today we're looking at what is coming for you or what is coming back to you during this Mercury Retrograde. It begins November 25th, 2024, and ends December 15th. Of course, we have shadow periods before and after these retrogrades, so these effects can extend beyond that time frame. But we have three piles today, and I'll put the timestamps down below. For pile one, I randomly drew these cards, so pick whichever one you're most attracted to, but we have Love Charm, Attracted Lover, Soulmate, and Life Partner. Pile 2, we have the Philosopher's Stone, Powerful Manifestations of Wishes and Goals by Harnessing Universal Energy. And pile 3, we have Safe and Happy Travel, Protection from Harm when Journeying. All right, so we do have the Mercury retrograde is occurring in the sign of Scorpio in sidereal astrology. It will remain within those in that sign for the retrograde period. Scorpio is the 8th house of sex, death, rebirth, shared resources, other people's money. So it could definitely have to do with past relationships or finance. So let's take time and focus on which pile, and I'll see you in your timestamp down below. All right, welcome, pile one. You chose Love Charm, so this could have to do with a relationship or a past partner coming back or contacting you. But let's see what your oracle cards are to begin. We have Yang, the masculine energy, proactivity, expression, doing and more, moving forward. So your fire and air signs, Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. And our journey card, we have Season. So the change of the season, we are moving into the winter solstice in December. So shortly after this retrograde period concludes, we have a new season. Adjust for your hemisphere accordingly. And then, of course, we have your archetype card is Agape. Now it's 72. That has to do with unconditional love. And your alchemy card of Antimony. Number 27. That's interesting. 7227. Mirrors, reflections. We have a window here that we're looking through, watching change. But 2 and 7 is 9. 99, coming towards the end of a cycle. Spiritual evolution, maturation. So yeah, agape is devotion, unconditional love. What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as a heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form, like a healing balm to a modern soul. Its effects last a lifetime. The Agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? Agape can also be felt as an overwhelming love of family, partner, community. Recognize it by a deep swell of gratitude. The Greek word agape informs the English word agape. To have the mouth agape is to be awestruck by something of breathtaking delight. We are made humble once again. So something that takes your breath away. It could be a shock, or you could just be overwhelmed with emotion. If you come in contact with this person, it feels surprising. But with these candles remaining burning here in the center, it's like the flame never went out. There was maybe many seasons have come and gone between the last time you spoke to this person or saw them. Changes have occurred within both of you, physically and spiritually. There is an elevation here with the agape rising up to a more unconditional love versus maybe in the past it was conditional, or whatever led to your separation is no longer relevant. But the antimony is like the enemy, is the, we have a wolf here, the lone wolf. Let's see what that is about. Wildness, fierceness, and hunger. We do have the wolf moon or the hunger moon coming up. That's the full moon in January, which I believe is around the middle of the month this year, 15th or so. But in medieval times, antimony became known as the gray wolf of alchemy. This was due to the metalloid's unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. So spiritual gold that can withstand this antimony. For these reasons, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild and free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of a hat. The message here is clear. Channel the gray wolf's energy toward creativity. Challenge it to come out from the shadows and express itself. Embark on the creative project or adventure that's calling you rather than focusing on why you can't. Once you begin, don't quit. The gray wolf responds to respect, not repression. So it feels like there was a conflict of interest here in the relationship. If there was a personal one that didn't work out, somebody perhaps wanted to have an exclusive partnership, and this gray wolf individual saw it otherwise. They might be a Sagittarius or Gemini or Leo, somebody who's very carefree and likes to travel. They're a free spirit. They don't want to be held down or committed to one relationship or partnership. And that could be the shock of this individual coming back and thinking, you know what? I've seen the world. I've experienced life now. And I want to come back and settle for something more exclusive of a higher caliber, because maybe all the other contacts they have made have paled in comparison to the one that they made with you. In regards to the agape card, talking about jaw-dropping and breathtaking love of family or community too, this could be somebody that you end up building a family or community with that is full of this kind of indiscriminate love for your family, for your community, spiritual or otherwise. So another interpretation of the material that is something eating away or wearing away the situation or person. Let this possibility open to deeper revelation. Like many of the alchemy cards, the gray wolf can most easily be felt throughout the laboratory of the human body. Dance, run, shake, breathe. Okay. So yeah, this wild side, this kind of, you either tame this person's wild side or you allow them the freedom to soar, to run free, to be who they are, knowing that regardless, they will come back to you. It's if you love something, let it go. Let them be free. That's the only way they can be the person you fell in love with, and vice versa. Okay, I'm going to clarify with some tarot. Get 3 cards for us. Okay, we have the Two of Swords here. It's called Schizophrenia in this deck. So I get this daredevil vibe too with this wolf energy. This kind of, they can't decide between their head and their heart. Again, am I free? Am I bound? Am I free to be who I am and love as I please? So there could have been this contention within them. And the maturity comes out, the Queen of Coins. So there's even an Ouroboros surrounding her head here. Something's coming back. Something's returning. But it's improved. There's the flower blooming on her third eye. There's an elevation of consciousness, a more mature love, a more, their perception has changed, as it might here if you're hanging on by a finger, cliffhanging, climbing, maybe even a close brush with death they might have experienced that allows them to reprioritize their life and see things in a different light as to what is most important to them. What is their priority right now, hanging on or letting go? Okay, is there one more card for pile 1? All right, intensity. Yeah, the Knight of Wands. That's that fire yang energy again, and the fire apparent here in the agape card, burning for you with desire, fierceness, passion. They might have come into your life quickly and left just as quick. And now it seems that they're being guided or directed to return to this union, to this situation. We also have the Rebel underneath, Aries, the Emperor, the breaking of the chains. Again, the strong theme of freedom. They felt maybe constrained and they had to go and pursue new heights with the eagle there. Reminds me of Jupiter and his eagle, or Scorpio. That's a second phase of evolution for them. They go from a scorpion to an eagle to a phoenix. With this flame here, it could be the rebirth of them not feeling imprisoned anymore. Either that or they're free to love or free to be who they are. Maybe they were tied to someone else or another situation karmically. But the title of this Emperor card is the Rebel. Like, they have that wolf spirit. They have that freedom, that need to fly. And roam. All right, so since this is a love charm reading, let's get a Journey of Love card to cap this off. All right, I forgot to hit record back when I was shuffling this, but this is the card I stopped on, is the Heart Fire number 1. More fire and passion. It's initiation also. That desire to begin again, to start over with this cyclical pattern, as we saw in the Ouroboros. Every ending is a new beginning, and this is maybe a new beginning coming for you. And then underneath the deck, we have Heart of God. We started this reading, remember, with 72 and 27 equaling 9, and there we have the number 9, the Heart of God, and the Heart Fire. So this person also giving off that strong Leo energy. Or they could have had a heart chakra awakening or serious heart healing, which has allowed them to have and reignite these feelings. And if this straight up doesn't have to do with a relationship for you, it could be just finding your passion and zest for life again, going in the direction of your dreams, having a vision to go toward. Maybe it took all this wandering away from what you thought was the correct path to find your way back to it, but the entire process was a journey anyway that was always meant to bring you back to this point. And it's the time where this thing is being brought back to your attention, your priority. So the Heart of God, you are part of something profound, a divine calling and privilege. It is a role of inspiration upon this earth. The women and men who have hearts capable of bliss. Bliss is what we feel when we let God in. It's very similar to that agape energy. The heart opens and we cannot speak for the sensation of it. It cannot be described. Great hearts can tolerate mystery. They can bear the enormity of divine bliss beyond analysis and description and simply be. You don't have to do anything with it, you see. To be the inspiration is to have a heart open to the divine. It is a life calling. Your heart is an inspirational force to be loved, recognized, and protected for the precious catalyst of divine awakening that is. Be led by your heart. God is in it, speaking through it, calling you forth to love, and that the love that flows through your heart filters out through your toes, dripping on those beneath you as stars falling from heaven. This oracle holds a message for you, direct from the divine. You have a sacred purpose to fulfill upon this earth, and it's all sorted out. This situation, this issue, this awakening that you seek and are living even now is held lovingly in the hands of the divine creator. The Creator says to you, leave it with me. It's all unfolding in perfection. I am alive in your heart. I am your heart. All right, so this is a profound heart awakening. This person has come. They've elevated their spiritual understanding of love. Whatever their concept of it was before has dramatically shifted. What they can offer to is so much greater, and they may have felt like a split in their mind. Again, listening to your mind or your heart, the Two of Swords. And they're going with their heart this time. They aren't over rationalizing it or letting themselves be talked out of it in any way. They are trusting now that this is the opportunity, or you are, in order to go towards that which is what you desire. Okay, thank you, Pile 1, for tuning in. You may choose another pile now if you feel called to. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. You chose the Philosopher's Stone. So let's take a look at your oracle cards to begin, starting with the astrology. We have House 4, Cultural and Family Roots, Home, Peace, and Comfort. Perhaps that's what you were trying to manifest. There's a nest egg there, an investment, security, stability. 4th house of Cancer, home and family, mother. So let's see if your the sacred space. Yeah, some of you might have been manifesting a new home, a new environment, a safe space for yourself to grow. It looks like a peaceful reserve, retreat, somewhere secure. There's a lot of gratitude here for what it is that you've built, because this place did not simply manifest based on material resources alone. It's based on divine necessity or spiritual necessity, I guess. It's what your soul attracted, is this new surrounding. It's what your soul needed in order to grow and expand and heal. Let's see what the dead end, number 40. is the archetype card, and we have the dissolution, number 45 or 65. All right, so dissolution and dead end seem like pretty heavy energies in relationship to the fourth house. Perhaps, like I said, you're moving out of somewhere else, like the space that you're either currently in or most recently in. It's outlived its purpose. You've outgrown its necessity, and it's time to relocate yourself in a new direction. Of course, they always say, in Mercury retrograde, don't sign anything, don't start anything new. Let's see what these cards can reveal for us. Okay, so I'm going to start with dissolution, surrender, dissolving, formlessness. Solutio is the great alchemical operation of water. It represents the form becoming formless. Scorpio is a water sign, and here we are going backwards in a water sign. That which is solid dissolving into liquid. In many alchemical texts, it is the first operation and summarizes the heart of alchemy, as is the axiom solve et coagula, dissolve to unite. For our purposes, it is important to know solutio involves a dissolving of definitions, identities, and labels. The strongholds of the ego drown in the emotional realm of water. We dive back to the beginning, the prima materia. This operation is humbling and disorienting, and oftentimes feels as though the self we knew has disappeared. Who are we now? How will others describe us? When these questions are afoot, the alchemical magic of solutio is underway. By surrendering to the waves, we unite with the primordial essence and return to our deepest selves. Water is always in motion, much like our emotions. Solutio requires us to let the tears flow and to soften the edges, to soak in the healing waters of our feelings. I mentioned the fourth house also being Cancer, which is a water sign. So maybe going back to your roots. This could be some of you getting closure or resolution about your childhood or your family home or your family life. If this card appears with the drowned king, take note. Both indicate the ego is ready to be surrendered to something greater than itself. Hang on for the ride. Well, that's the dead end too. So this is the end of an identity, the end of an ego, the end of how you previously saw yourself, or maybe somebody else saw you. You could be returning home during this period and having people see you in an entirely new light. You could look completely different, both energetically and physically. But our description here is the closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. Contrary to what its name implies, the dead end is very much alive. Well, Scorpio being the house of death and rebirth, so completely appropriate. It is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. It is thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls. With every bramble, thorn, and stone, it simply states, no more, child. You have reached the last page of this chapter. It is natural to resist its very resistance and struggle even harder to make our way out, to prove our point, to hold on to what was. In this way, we fight with the life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the ones you planned on walking through. If you are honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. So that's what's dissolving, something you were holding on to. Maybe a truth or your perception of something, of how things were, how things went down. And this is what you're letting go. You're releasing it. It's like walking away from the need to be right. Note that in most stories and movies, the moment a protagonist reaches the dead end, something riveting happens. You are the protagonist. So whatever it is, this wall is about to come down. It's about to dissolve. And it could be involving family matters, and this window looking like a boundary around her. So putting down emotional walls. Reflect on dead ends in your past that led to unimaginable wonders. The moment you accept the ending, a feeling of grace will arise. Doors begin to open both inside you and in the world. So the moment you let go of this idea or grudge or experience, maybe it's like you can take this story no further. It really is a gift. It's a blessing that we've exhausted this line of thought, this kind of relationship, and now you are free to dissolve that and begin again. So we had two cards, fall on the ground. We had the King of Cups, another water sign. We mentioned the drowned king showing up here in the Dissolutio, about emotions being overpowerful, but the King of Cups is the king of healing, forgiveness, release. Then we have the Ten of Swords that came down with it. This is an ending. It's something is over. Something, the hatchet's been buried, but there's a lot of release that's going on here. And underneath we have the Two of Pentacles. So deciding, which to let go of. You have to put one down. You're in this constant flow of juggling two realities or two concepts or perceptions about something. There's two sides to every story. And now consensus can be reached about one. I just wanted to go back to this side note about dissolution. If the card appears with the Drowned King, take note. Both indicate the ego is ready to be surrendered to something greater than itself. Hang on for the ride. Okay, so big shifts coming from within you. An ego death, most likely. We go through many in a lifetime if we're fortunate. It leads to our growth and expansion, which is why we're here, right? All right, so I'm going to get a Rose Oracle to finish this up for us. What message for pile 2? Well, I shuffled and a clump of cards fell down, but this is the one that was facing upward when I looked on the floor. Joy and enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. The sun over the mountain there. Again, achievements have been reached, or the hardest part is over. You've reached the top as far as this can go, but that does bring you closer to the source of life, to the source of light. I mean, maybe you're just somebody who takes things to extremes. And let's see, the Wild Rose, do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, untamed. Well, yeah, you're certainly not going to be everybody's favorite, whatever, but this is really more of a journey of authenticity that you've gotten back into. You've gotten back closer to your true spiritual self, who you were born to be on this earth. And the Rose Garden, innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. And there's a pool of water there as well. So I felt that throughout this whole reading, that there, again, there's forgiveness regarding a misunderstanding, a cleansing, a renewal. You can hug and make up. It can be okay. All right, pile 2, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this message or found it useful. If so, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, welcome pile number 3. You chose safe and happy travel. Well, considering Mercury has to do with transportation and communication, that's a pretty good omen to me as far as if you have any travel plans between November 25th and the 15th of December. Could be an indicator of your safe arrival. We have house 3, Mercury, early learning, childhood relations, irrational mind, and communication. So Gemini or Virgo, very strong. Also communications being clear, or somebody calling, getting back in touch with you haven't heard from in a while. Maybe you submitted a job resume and you thought that they forgot about you. They find your name in a stack and like, oh wow, this person really did give a great interview. We need to give them a call. And if it's just like protection, if you weren't speaking to this person or didn't hear from them at that time, then it was for your own good. We have the highest self here as your journey card. So in the meantime, or during this time period, we have a spiritual elevation as well. There's a lot of healing, aligning, unblocking. There's a clear channel for you to spirit, to higher self, clear communication, clear transmissions and transportation. The mountain, number 33. Wow. So 33 being a master teacher number. Some of you could be in the presence of a spiritual guru, teacher, an enlightened one, or you yourself are becoming this enlightened master. This mountain card always makes me think of the Hermit card in the traditional deck, where you have the figure, and that represents Virgo, the Hermit, ascending this mountain and holding his lantern. And here we have the sun illuminated twice in this card. So using your wisdom, your lessons learned, you get a higher perspective, you light the way for others, and there's just a broader understanding. There's a feeling of contentment and achievement without, the shadow side of ego, as you don't feel like you're superior to anyone, but there is a sense of well-deserved pride and accomplishment in your spiritual journey, in your travels here, that you've achieved, and you should remain proud of that. So the mountain says, the ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us toward its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience. Yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the pursuit of the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. And it's interesting, I was talking about, these chakras within, this treasure within of the sun illuminating, and here we have the light within the mountain. It's not about who stands on top, but who, the person inside is sheltered, they're protected, they're not suffering the elements or the external world. They are completely content and secure within themselves. And that could be the feeling that you are adapting to at this time. Research mountains, find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion, quote, "You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere." He wrote that book, The Hero's Journey. I highly recommend it. It just talks about, these archetypal evolution of how people go within, they go to the underworld, and they come back reborn. There's a lot of mythology tied into that as well. Okay. Grounded in eternal, steadfast, and uplifting. In its shadow, ominous, daunting, isolating, and frigid. So yeah, I guess the lesson here is whatever you're evolving into, make sure that you don't develop a superiority complex as a result and isolate yourself from either learning more or achieving more because you think you've reached the peak, when it says, in truth, the real treasures are within. Now, we have ash, okay? So that is after the fire, after the cleanse. No way. Guys, I swear, I shuffled these blindly, and this is pile 3. We have 33 showing up in both of these decks. House 3, 3, 3. Third house is Mercury. I'm speechless right now. So, and the ash even has an emblem of a pyramid. This is the alchemical symbol of fire, is the upward facing pyramid. So a lot of you could be Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, or have a stellium of planets, sun, moon, or rising. But there's a fire that you've been through the fire and you are walking out the other side. You are cleansed, you are reborn. I mentioned these shadow sides of the mountain and the hermit, but that's long gone. That is far beyond your evolution at this stage. You are ready to be a teacher. You have seen and witnessed and experienced many teachers. You are at a stage now where you are to be the one imparting wisdom and helping guide others through the fire and the flames to come out the other side like you did. Whatever your experience has been, it's going to be unique for everybody. Let's read about ash. And the sign of Scorpio in which this Mercury retrograde is occurring has 3 phases: the Scorpion, the Eagle, and the Phoenix. Phoenix being the final stage, as we know, all rise out of the ash. The Eagle flies higher, yes, but it still has an ego. It still thinks it's on top. The Phoenix is humbled, brought to ash, and yet rises again. Okay, so memory, ancestors, and the past. Ash represents what has come before it. The fire is over now, and its flames took with it all recognizable form of what was burned. Some of you might be coming from pile 2. Only memories and the soft gray ash substance remain. When this card appears, look back and sift through what has occurred. You are in the realm of ancestors, past relationships, and those that have passed to another realm. Be gentle with the process, as it is delicate and sacred. The ash card asks us to tend to the true nature of endings, grief, and letting go. You may be asked to be present with others experiencing loss. Some of you could be counselors, death doulas, helping people transition or recover after experiencing loss in their life. When in doubt, be like ash. It is silken light and easily carried by the wind. And Mercury, Gemini, is associated with the wind, an air element. Soften into the memories and into the tears. Eventually forgiveness follows and the heart travels a light. says, go deeper, read A Morning Poem by Mary Oliver. I haven't read that yet. The ash card is subtle but powerful, affecting the entire reading. Envision it as an ashen layer covering all the surrounding cards and shifting their meaning. I just saw the image of a volcano. What is a mountain that spews ash? What do volcanoes do? I mean, their molten lava runs down the side. It decimates everything in its way, but it also provides minerals, nutrients. It clears to allow new growth and birth to come out, new plants and trees. It's like when they do that, what is it, brush fire clearing, slash and burn farming. You know, they do that on purpose to to add nutrients back to the soil. Fire is a great equalizer. Do not take this card personally, but rather as a call to be present and kind to yourself and others as we navigate the challenge of letting go. Okay. The ash card was making reference to our ancestors in the past. I'm going to get an Angels and Ancestors card for you. What ancestral message does pile 3 need? Broken arrow, embrace the energy of peace. I feel that's inner peace. Again, the unblocking, the healing of the chakras. There is a great peace after this cleansing, after this fire has swept through your life or someone else, or you're helping others find peace, helping people transition to a peaceful place. Heavy spiritual work. This transmutation of this eruptive, going from an eruptive, violent volcano to somebody, maybe you've mastered your anger. It's pretty profound. I'm still kind of beside myself. Okay, and here's the opposite. Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Interesting. The arrow and the broken arrow, as above, so below. It's a mirror, and underneath the deck is mountains. Stand your ground. So I'm just looking at the symbology here, though. We have the mountain, the reflection of the mountain. So I think everyone's going to get a personal interpretation, a message of what these symbols mean to you at this point. And even Gemini, you know, being the twins, being the positive and negative dipole of the battery, the good and the bad. You can't have the good without the bad, or that's just our perception of what it is. But with the ash here and the arrow, the protective energy, and we had this, safe and happy travel, protection from harm when journeying. There is absolute spiritual protection around you, around what you are meant to achieve in this life. There's nothing that can get in the way of that. And when, I guess this comes from the Native American lore, that when tribes were done warring with each other, they broke the arrow in half. There's no more need for these weapons of war. There's peace when they break it in half. Even these arrows are going up and down, as above, so below. There's such a clear channel between you and spirit. Information going up, information coming down. Sagittarius season is going to be completely transformative for you too. We actually have the sun moving into Sagittarius the day Mercury goes direct in sidereal. So the sun going into a fire sign. This is going to be an amazing winter, wherever you're located. This Sagittarius season, I think, is when you will get in touch with your highest self. I don't even want to pull tarot cards for this. I really don't see a need to expand any further, but I am going to, this is my very first tarot deck, you know, and I pull it out occasionally. I got to wrap this up. It's the original Rider-Waite. I had it on my shelf for a couple years before I even pulled it out at the age of, 10 years ago I guess. So, let's see, any message for pile 3? The 2 of coins, going with the flow, the rhythm, the circle, the ability to I think y'all are a conduit between life and death. You are definitely can communicate between worlds, travel between worlds in the astral plane, to even the Roman numeral 2 looking like a Gemini there. And again, some of you are coming to pile 2, or you're meant to see pile 2. And the sun, of course, showing up again for us with the highest self and the jewels within. The spiritual rewards are going to be immense this Mercury retrograde, as well as the physical. And we'll stop there with the King of Pentacles. King of the Mountain, right? There's the In the Hall of the Mountain King. I loved that song. I don't know why. But, and underneath the deck, we have a 2 of Wands. All right, I'm done. 11, 11, 22, 33. Seeing all these numbers, you are indefinitely on the right path, pile 3. Thank you. The world is yours. It's in the palm of your hand. You have a great responsibility. Be sure to use it responsibly. You have great power. So congratulations on all your achievements. I know you're here to do great things. So continue to do what you do. Thank you, pile 3. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.